Hey you and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video we just got another one of those love triangles gone wrong, which it just keeps on happening. I'm fine, I swear. This is the case of Erica Friman, Christian Aguilar, and Pedro Bravo. And what Pedro did? Bravo, Pedro. Bravo. See, in high school, Erica started dating Pedro, and when she ditched him, gave him the boot, because, you'll see, she started dating Christian Aguilar. But see, the rub is Christian happened to be good friends with Pedro. So let's see where that goes. Alright, enough faffing about. Let's get... Erica Friman dated the smart, funny, charismatic, not sure if you'd get that by looking at him, Pedro Bravo, while they were both sophomores at high school in Miami. Towards the end of their senior year, Erica tried to break up with Pedro. See, you know, they'd be leaving school soon, starting college, and going their separate ways. At least that's what Erica thought. However, when Erica broached the subject of them splitting up, Pedro just wasn't having any of it. He began to make vague threats about what would happen if they split, and that things would never be the same. Yeah, Pedro, I think that's the idea. See, this, worried, Erica a little bit. He's starting to seem like a Looney Tune. And then over the summer, though, of 2012, when she was getting ready to go to, you know, college, Santa Fe in Gainesville, she finally just cut the cord. Reportedly, Pedro, he was unsurprisingly devastated and depressed by just how much it's coming up. Now, let's meet Christian Aguilar, a friend of both Erica and Pedro. Well, close friend of Pedro's. He went to high school with both of them, and wouldn't Erica and Christian start dating in Gainesville? Uh-oh, Pedro won't like that. When Christian started attending the University of Florida in Gainesville, studying biomedical engineering. Big Gators fan he was. Isn't that always the way, you know, you travel hundreds, thousands of miles? You'll always meet somebody from home. It's bollocks. So both Erica and Christian started dating, but they decided, you know, maybe, let's play it, you know, covert-like. Maybe keep it hush-hush for now. Maybe, don't bring it up and let Pedro know. Might not be a good idea. After all, he was devastated when Erica broke up with him, so they rightfully thought he might not be, you know, best pleased to learn one of his friends was dating his ex. But Pedro, he was down in Miami, and they were getting them gains in Gainesville, 340 miles away. But not for long. That'd be grand, not a bother, you know. They're in Gainesville. As long as they're not posting it on Facebook, updating their relationship status, there's no way he would know. Right? No, not right. Not right at all. Just a few weeks after they moved to Gainesville, attending, you know, the separate colleges, Pedro, ding, you know, he had a great idea that he would move to Gainesville also. Ah, yes, Santa Fe Community College. Looks like the right place for me too, you know. Oh, my ex-girlfriend, who I'm still in love with, who I was devastated when she left me. She goes here too? Small world, right? You travel miles away and you just happen to meet somebody from your hometown. Interesting choice. Pretty clear what scheme he was up to. So even when Pedro moved up there, Erica and Christian thought it best to still keep the relationship, you know, secret. Don't wanna set him off. Unfortunately for them, Pedro already knew full well about what they were doing behind his back. Who cares what they were doing behind his back? It's not like she was cheating on him. They'd been broken up. But Pedro made his list of enemies. Erica would reach out to Pedro, you know, from time to time. They were broken up, but he was still quite depressed, and she was worried about him, you know, wanted to make sure he wouldn't do anything drastic. She didn't want to, you know, push him over the edge, but from time to time, Pedro would ask Erica, hey, you know, hey, you can tell me, you know, it's fine. You wouldn't happen to be dating, anybody, would you? You know. Maybe somebody whose name rhymes with Schmishtian. Every time Erica would deny, it wasn't the right time to tell him. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He might not have been ready in her mind, but he was definitely ready to do something else. To someone else. See, while Erica and Christian were trying to keep their relationship to themselves, mutual friends of the couple and Pedro's didn't do the same, maybe didn't realize that information was just for them. Pedro was a very busy boy after learning things. On the 20th of September 2012, at the start of the semester, Pedro contacted old good buddy Christian Aguilar. Hey best bro, my favorite friend, my number one! You wouldn't happen to want to go to the local, safe Best Buy to maybe buy one of those CDs? According to Erica, Christian really didn't want to. He felt, as most people would, weirded out. Yeah, I get that. That's weird. Do I want to hang out? No. But eventually he said he would meet Pedro at Best Buy. It's his old friend, do him a solid, owes it to. Owes him that at least. Right? Again, wrong. After doing their bits and bobs in Best Buy, Christian never returned back to his dormitory room that night. The next day, he was a no-show at class. Erica first realized Christian was missing after he went to meet Pedro, but he wouldn't answer his phone. She started to panic and kept trying to call both of them until the wee morning hours. Christian's phone kept going to voicemail, until finally she got through to Pedro, who told her that he had dropped Christian off at his dormitory after they got into an argument. Christian had told him that he was dating Erica. But this is, bullshit. Christian's father then contacted the police. When Erica couldn't find Christian, Erica made Pedro go with her to report him missing to the police. She began to become more suspicious of Pedro. Unsurprisingly. Pedro was brought in early. After all, he was the last person to see Christian, and they were spotted together on surveillance tape in Best Buy. Pedro said, yeah, I was with him that night. Went, did our bits and bobs, bought some stuff, but I dropped him off at his college dorm room. Nothing else happened. And a scale.
So he shows up dead. What job?
Well, first of all, no, it was just kind of like, hey.
Yeah.
At that point, we're just driving forward. We're just talking about like how, but like why I want to commit suicide and like reasons not to and why.
What do you need?
I'm just tired of everything.
Tired of everything? Tired of what? You haven't even experienced life yet.
That's his argument. It's everyone's argument too. I know, but just I don't know. I just feel very overwhelmed by everything.
Mm-hmm.
Going from college, moving from home, dealing with paying for classes, dealing with paying for food, and then my car broke, which was nice, and my bicycle broke, which was also nice. So. And then my friend goes missing, which is great, just fantastic. It just adds on to the top of everything.
Yeah, it does. But, I mean, you were feeling like that before then, right?
Yeah. We were arguing a little bit, but not like arguing, like getting really angry and really violent at each other, and like screaming and yelling, just kind of like going back and forth in rapid succession. And then he told me to stop the car. He wants to get out.
Okay, and what did you do?
I was angry at him too, so I stopped the car and I said, fine, get out.
Ask you some direct questions, okay?
It's okay.
You know what happened to Christian? Where he is since he left you?
All I know is I dropped him off and I drove away.
Have you heard from him, seen him since that?
If I would, we wouldn't be here right now. I'd be out trying to find him and then hurting him for doing this.
Did you have any kind of physical confrontation yesterday?
However, he later changed his story and said that, yeah, they were in the car and he found out about Erica and Christian's relationship and he got angry. And he decked Christian in the face, kicked him out of the car in the middle of nowhere, sped off.
When you leave things out, kind of like
it kind of comes back to bite you in the ass.
It makes you look like you did something bad.
Yeah.
So is there anything we need to change about where you went, at what times, and things like that?
It's one thing I have to tell you because you're right, I can't keep everything from you, and I have to tell you one thing.
Okay.
Like in the scuffle with Chris, it wasn't just really an argument. I made the comment about the girl that he has a crush on, and he got angry at that. But then he came back with, maybe you should just kill yourself. And that's when I turned around and punched him straight in the face.
See, Pedro only found out about the relationship when he went for a drive with his dear friend. Plots schemes, creepy journals we're gonna get to in a bit. Come here to me, you must be joking. Then, of course, as he was being interviewed, a verbal argument over the girl he was obsessed with, moved over 300 miles for, turned into a punch, and Christian was dumped out in the Floridian woods. The police weren't born yesterday, and they quickly got a warrant and went to Pedro's apartment, where they found Christian's backpack hidden in a suitcase in Pedro's closet, and also Christian's blood and vomit in Pedro's car, a plastic bottle with sleeping pill residue inside, and also particles of lime rock in the car, leading them to believe he had been buried. Someone's telling fibs. They also found on Pedro's phone that on September 20th, the day Christian disappeared, Pedro asked Siri on his phone, "I need to hide my roommate," to which Siri answered,
"What kind of place are you looking for? Swamps, reservoirs, metal foundries, dumps."
That's really helpful, I didn't know it did that. This came out, however, it was later determined that Pedro's phone didn't have Siri. Siri won't say that, and why would he ask roommate? He didn't have a roommate. The image, it was like a cached photo on Pedro's phone. Still though, I mean, maybe Siri could come in handy if you're up to no good. Bollocks of an android. It was also found he'd used the flashlight on his phone 9 times that day for over 48 minutes. Looking for something in the dark, huh? Interesting, especially when his phone was on airplane mode the entire time. So they brought all this to Pedro. Now, stop bullshitting us. Tell us what happened. This time he said he didn't just punch Christian. They got into a big old scrap, were baiting the shite out of each other. And he left Christian once again on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. This time, however, when he kicked Christian out of his car, Christian was unconscious.
I hit him in the face and I made him get out. And
but there's a little more to that. And I think that you need to be honest about it. You need to tell me what else happened, because something else happened besides just that. Okay? Something else happened. And you need to be honest with it, because if that's all that happened, he would have went somewhere, called the police to get his phone and to get his stuff.
Well,
we know that he's not coming back, okay? I know he's not coming back. I've been doing this for too long. I've been doing this for 30 years. I know when somebody's coming back. When they ain't coming back, he ain't coming back. You know he's not coming back. No, you need to tell the truth. We can help you a little bit as far as if you can explain things. But just to find him in a couple of weeks and not be able to explain it, Pete, you got to tell the truth.
Will I still be able to go home with my parents tonight if I...
I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you can go home tonight, okay? You know, it's something that we got to work on, okay?
Police went with Pedro to where he said he had dropped Christian off, and to a few other places, but there was no sign at all of missing Christian Aguilar. He then stopped talking with the police. On September 24th, 2012, Pedro was arrested and charged with depriving a victim of medical care.
And would still encourage citizens to volunteer to help us in that search. We would also encourage property owners, residential or business, who may have lime rock roads on their property that were accessible to the general public, to search those properties for any suspicious areas of ground that appear to have been disturbed. We are also requesting information from anyone who may have seen a suspicious vehicle likened to a blue Chevy Blazer in any remote areas on the night of Thursday, September 20th. Please check the Gainesville Police Department Facebook page for information on how to help. The deepest condolences of the Gainesville Police Department are with the Aguilar family today. Thank you.
And so, being pretty sure there's more to this, no shit, the investigators continued their investigation and found Pedro's journal. Let's have a look. They learned of his obsession with Erica. It ran much deeper than anyone had thought, and him wanting Christian out of the picture. The friend he had known since middle school. He knew about Erica and Christian's relationship the entire time, and was determined to end it on his terms. Meaning there was only one way to end it. Let me read you out a little bit. Send the hello text August 9th if she poked you or messaged you previously. If not, stay quiet and send a message September 7th. Try to talk to her at first, gradually, then try to talk more. Give her a reason to talk back. Don't come off as too strong or too much. Ask questions more than anything. Try to be interesting. Call October 9th. Be cool. Not too cool, but interested cool. But not too interested cool. You know what I mean? No, we don't know what you mean. And this weird, like, Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs style diary, it is what it is. Nothing good. Writing on August 22nd, I'm in Gainesville, and I should try to start talking to Erica slowly, but surely I can do this. I will succeed. No, you won't. They also found receipts for duct tape and a shovel. They were purchased the day before Christian disappeared. They also found in his search history information about unsolved murders, chloroform, sleeping pills, and alibis. Pedro was then charged with the murder of Christian Aguilar, though no body was found at that time.
Well, what we've found out, we've gotten the latest information now from the authorities in Gainesville, and we now know Pedro Bravo, who had been picked up as a person of interest in the case of missing freshman Christian Aguilar. Well, Bravo has now been charged with murder. There is no body, though, that has been found so far. Police were frustrated when they were discussing this at the news conference. They're asking the people in the Gainesville area to point out anything that might be suspicious to them.
Throughout, Pedro maintained the owl innocence, you know yourself. Nothing to do with me, lads. He continued this even after they found Christian's body in the woods on the 12th of October, 60 miles southwest of Gainesville. And it was determined that he had been drugged and strangled to death. 20-year-old Pedro's trial began in August 2014. While in jail, Pedro Bravo was put in a cell with Michael Angelo, a convicted gang member. He said that Pedro confided in him that he had murdered Christian. He allegedly told Michelangelo that as he strangled Christian to death, he was looking at the clock on the car radio, and that it took 13 minutes for Christian to die. Pedro asked him for a pen to write a suicide note to his parents, and for Michael's shoelace so he could end his own life. Michael said he gave him the pen, but not the shoelace.
Did he ever discuss with you whether or not he made a plan about killing Chris?
Yes, sir.
I am a monster for having hurt Chris the way I did, and monsters shouldn't exist in this world. Does that sound like the letter he read to you?
Yes, sir. I think originally he said that he was going to try to poison him with a mixture of sleeping pills and pesticide and mixed with soda or something, like I guess soda. And his backup plan was to have a knife, you know, to cut his throat in case it didn't work. You know, after he had got back in the driver's seat and he was, you know, I guess riding around to dispose of the body, that it was making a sound like, and that's the reason that he held on to the driving strap while he was riding around, because it freaked him out.
And that wasn't the only letter Pedro wrote in prison the authorities found. This one was even more disturbing and addressed to someone outside the jail, and was Pedro's master plan. The letter goes, "They found him, bones and all. Only cause of death is strangulation, which they will try and prove, but they have nothing that can back it up." That brings out the brilliance of this plan. Oh yeah. 3 to 4 people, unfortunately, must die, but preference would be 2 UF students or Santa Fe students and 1 random person, could be homeless or whomever, and 1 person who may be associated with gang activity or a random person as well. The way people get caught is they kill people they know, so hence, kill people that may never be tied back to you. Anyways, the individuals must be strangled and tased. Tased to incapacitate and strangled to kill. He described where to dump the bodies, and that then the 3rd or 4th body be the murderer, which will be hard to identify since he will be lit up on fire and decapitated. Beside would be a small leaflet of paper that would state Christian Aguilar. For each person, I will find a way to pay $1,000 per person and other expenses. Dishing out the big bucks. I'm not really sure how he thought this plan would work, or what the deal with the fake serial killer decapitating themselves, what that was about, but well, there you go. I mean, I'm not making this up. Prosecutors alleged that Pedro was so distraught over finding out his ex-girlfriend was dating his friend, he concocted a plan to kill him so he and Erica could be together again. Those plans, like I said, they've come up quite a number of times in these old videos. I mean, I always end with fairy tale endings, so I don't see why he didn't think that would happen. Meanwhile, throughout, he and his defense maintained that all the things that were found, the sleeping pills and so forth, that was for Pedro, not Christian. The only person he wanted to kill was himself. He was lovesick over losing Erica, the reason he moved to Gainesville in the first place, to try and get her back.
And where did you want to go?
I wanted to go to Gainesville. I wanted to go because I wanted to get out, stop going in the same place, stop having all these memories, all these feelings, trying to see if maybe a fresh start would help me to erase everything that's in my slate. And I also wanted to see, at the time, I wanted to see if I can get back with Erica Friman. Christian was in Miami earlier, and I talked to him, I told him that I think I'm going to go to Gainesville around September, and I think I'm going to go try and find Erica again. And he told me, well, at least you should try it, I guess. If she was your love and you think you can do this, go ahead and do it. And then, when I got to Gainesville, I told him I'm in Gainesville now. He's like, weren't you going to be here in September? I'm like, oh, I just moved it up. I just couldn't waiting so long. So, I told Chris that I want to try and get back with Erica, and I told him that it just makes me feel terrible. She hasn't told me yes or no. I just wanted a definite answer of like, yes, there might be a chance we can get together, or no, there's no possible way that we can get back together.
They had fought, yes. And he left Christian at the side of the road. We didn't kill him.
About a week earlier, or 2 weeks earlier, there was this whole drama about him going out with Erica, and then Erica said no, and then I was like, okay, at least that's not true. I asked him if he was going out with Erica at one point, which he said no at first, and then later on he said that yes, he was going out with Erica.
And did you believe him?
I believed him, yes. He's one of my friends for 4 years. If he told me tomorrow there would be no rain, I wouldn't carry an umbrella.
Tell the jury what your concern was and what you found out and what you decided to do.
He's one of my best friends, and now this is happening, and I find out the worst possible way for two of my friends. I told him that I wanted to talk. The discussion is getting very heated now. I'm arguing with him, and he's arguing with me. We're not necessarily yelling, but we're going back in rapid bursts. He's saying something quickly. I'm cutting him off, saying something else. He's saying something, and I'm going back, cutting him off, and he's cutting me off. I turn around, and I hit him in the nose with my left fist while I'm driving, yes. Christian's like in the back of the seat, back of the car, and he's not happy, obviously. He's mad at me, and now I just hit him in the face and the nose, and everything, it's adding on to whatever happened to him.
Did he sustain any injury when you hit him in the nose?
His nose started bleeding, yes. The only thing I remember seeing was Christian on the ground and then me leaving.
What is Chris's condition when you leave?
From what I remember, I can't give an accurate statement because I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I can't tell you if he was unconscious or he was knocked out. But all I could tell was that he didn't get up right away, but that he was still moving.
Still breathing?
Yes.
And moving?
Yes.
When you did this, did you have any malicious intent to kill Christian Aguilar?
No, it was all spur of the moment.
Do you have any ill will to inflict upon him any permanent injury?
No.
Was it just a fight between guys?
Yeah, it was just a fight between guys, and I wish it was less than that.
All right. And you decided to leave?
Yes.
Have you come to regret that decision?
I feel like I'm going to regret that decision for the rest of my life.
He was breathing when he left him, so maybe there's a psychopath out there in the woods of... Well, actually, it is Florida, so... During the trial, the defense also tried to discredit the note he had written in prison. the confession, saying that Michelangelo had forced him to write it. That was found to be, not believable by the jury. But what was found to be true was Pedro Bravo guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Tragic, Psycho-E story. It's similar to some of the ones we've covered recently, most recently the Joseph Saunier case. Though in this one, Pedro decided to do the dirty work by himself. I mean, I guess we should be glad for that he didn't get anybody else involved in his stupid plan. One positive, but net negative. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you as always real soon in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Mike out.